Made it. Oila made it. Baruch Hashem.
Get the tea at home.
Yeah. I was picturing a hole in the Geshmaga thing. Okay, we're on Chavav Amabez. Was there any Chazars on the chat also? Done?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, good. Baruch Hashem. Good. So,
Every day.
oh, I was talking about a tea sitting back on the couch.
It only starts when people posting stuff.
After I said that. Okay, that's fine. So we're on Chavav Amabez. We're going to chazer from Amarav about sleeping during the day. Anybody close their eyes today, or they're very careful to make sure they didn't fall asleep? Amarav said Rav, it's also for a person to sleep by day because of bittul Torah more than a horse's sleep. The kamashenes asus, how much does a horse sleep? Shisa nishmi, 60 breaths. I also think horses never crouch, right?
Sleep standing.
Can you imagine your entire life, you'll never take a seat? Horses stand up constantly, their whole lives. Very interesting.
Hello. No?
It's a pillow. Yeah.
They're the only animal.
We have a hard time standing up like Ne'ilah, like that last, when the ark is open. And these guys are up for their whole lives.
How many horses live?
60 breaths, I'm going to tell you it's around a half hour. That's the most accepted opinion, is a half hour. Amar Abaya says Abaya, Shenase Demar, the sleep of my master, which was Rabba, Rabba took care of him, was his uncle, Kid Rav, is the same much as Rav. Rav made a statement about this. My Rebbe, my master, he slept as much as Rav said. Uda Rav and Rav slept, Kid Rebbe, as much as Rebbe slept. How do you know Rebbe slept? Because Rav grew up in Rebbe's home. Uda Rebbe, Kid David. Rebbe slept as much as David did. Rebbe had a Messiah about the house of David. Rebbe came from David. That David Melech, how much he slept, that's how much Rebbe slept during the day. Uda David, how much did David sleep? Kid Susya, like a horse. Uda Susya, and how much does a horse sleep? Shisin Nishmi, 60 breaths. Abaya, I said before, Abaya maybe did this once, but the Lashon of the Gemara is, it sounds like Abaya did this frequently. Abaya Havanoyim, like Hava means he would sleep, Noyim, he would sleep, Kideme'ayo, like the amount of time it takes to go up, Me Pumpadisa Lebekube, to go from Pumpadisa to Bekube, which was a long time. According to Rashi, 6 parsais, which is a lot of time. Abaya slept. Koriyalei of Yosef. Yosef said a pasuk on him. Pasuk in Mishlei ad Masai Atzal Tishkav. How long, lazy one, will you sleep? Masai Takum Mishnasecha. When will you get up from your sleep? So, what?
Also talking about during the day?
Yes, during the day, pashas. Yeah, because and now you're allowed to sleep pashas. You're allowed to sleep full night.
He slept so much during the day.
Yeah.
Often?
So I thought it was one time, but the lashon is Abaya Hava. Hava means he will do this.
How often is sleep?
So I don't know. The big question is, if Abaya did this every day, he wouldn't be who we know he is. What?
He could have been up all night, already.
Right. Could have been up. Right. There is somebody, I don't want to talk about who is a big Gadol in Lakewood. I know because I'm friends with his grandson, one of the biggest, most well-known Gadol in Lakewood. And I just don't want to say because I'm on recording and everything like that. Nothing bad. It's very private. He told me, no one knows this, he sleeps a lot during the day. And he learns the entire night. He's much more to learning at night than by day. So he'll sleep a lot by day. I don't know what a lot is exactly, but he slept the whole night learning. So, what? He learns by himself, yeah, I think so. So again, everyone has their mahalos. I guess, again, if you're sleeping to have koiches to learn, that's not bittul Torah, right? It's only if you're just taking a nap for no reason. Okay, this is what we're up to. Tanu Rabbana. We're back into the tefillin land. Okay, we left just to talk about sleep by day. Now we're going to go back into tefillin with sleeping. Okay, so just join us back, and now we'll take us to the Mishnah, and then we're going to be done. Everyone can go to sleep after that. Mamish. So the Gemara says like this: Tanu Rabbana, Rabbanan taught. It's a brayso. Hanichnos lishon bayoim. Somebody who goes into his house to take a shluf bayoim during the day. With it, he's wearing his tefillin. Now, just to chazer this over. Back in the olden days, people wore tefillin the entire day. Something that's very hard for us to understand. We're so used to just shachars, but they wore tefillin all the time. We do not wear tefillin all the time anymore because we don't know how to keep a gufnaki, to have the proper machshava. You can't be Mesiach Das. You're allowed to work with tefillin on. People think working is Mesiach Das. If you're thinking about Hashem and you're doing your work, whatever else it is, that's fine. But you just can't be like Kalas Roish and be joking around and really like remove Hashem from your head. But you're allowed to work. Back then they worked with their tefillin. Probably if they were doing intensive labor, they probably took off their tefillin. But if the guy was a tailor or something, it could be they wore their tefillin. I don't know. I don't know exactly when they did or when they didn't take it off, but they wore their tefillin all the time. Okay? So
When did this to stop?
when did it stop? I don't remember at what point it stopped. I'm not sure. It's a
All
good
of a
question.
sudden, we just don't have good enough anymore?
Yeah, we're not holding by it anymore. We cannot. We can barely wear it just for Kriya Shema and Tefillah. You know, like the main parts. We have a hard time.
Is there any need to overwear it?
Yes, it is brought down as a diktuk in halacha to wear tefillin a little bit after davening and to learn something a little bit. If you think you're going to start schmoozing, take it off. I give it halacha after shakas. Part of my reason is you learn a little bit after davening your tefillin, you accomplish this a little bit, a few seconds past the davening. It's brought down. There's an Indian to do it. So, anyways, this guy, he's wearing his tefillin during the day. He wants to take a break and go into his house to take a nap with his tefillin. Now, bringing this up because this is negaya. He's not planning on taking a deep sleep, and he's not planning on having tashmish. Okay, it's negaya to this sugya. He's just walking into his house for a quick second, taking a quick nap, has no thoughts of tashmish with his wife, and with relations, and no thoughts of having a deep sleep. Okay, so what's the halacha? Now, if you'd ask us before we saw this brisa, I know the halacha. You're allowed to wear your tefillin for a very short nap. Very short nap. How long? Less than a minute. Okay, that's how long we're talking about here. You can't sleep more than a minute because you might be shema yafiach. This guy wants to take a less than a minute nap, just a quick power nap. So yeah, you can wear, according to one sheet, you should put your head between your knees. But according to other shita, you could take a quick nap, and that's fine, even if not your head with your knees. Right, unless he holds like Rabbi Yaakov, good, that you could take. But this brisa you're going to see does not hold like Rabbi Yaakov. So this guy's going a quick nap, no tashmish, no long sleep. What happens? He goes into his house to sleep during the day. Two options. Ratza, if he wants, chaylitz, remove your tefillin. You want? Remove your tefillin. Good. Ratza, if you want, maniach. You can leave your tefillin on. Up to you. It's fine. Because it's a very quick nap. You have no intention of sleeping longer, and you have no intention of tashmish. You're allowed to do either leave it on or you could take it off. What? The length is the amount of time to take 100 amma walk, which is about less than a minute. Because if not, you have a problem of shema yafiach. So it's a quick nap. And because it's during the day, he's not thinking tashmish. However, Belaila, let's say he goes with his tefillin on, he's wearing his tefillin and he wants to take a quick nap by night. No, chaylitz. You have to remove your tefillin. Ve'ena maniach, you can't leave them on. And the reason is because at night, you could definitely get into a deep sleep. And also potential tashmish situation, when you're not allowed to tashmish with your tefillin on. So therefore, you at night remove your tefillin, even for a quick 1 minute nap. You're not allowed to remove your tefillin. Divrei Rebbe Nosson, these are the words of Reb Nosson. Yeah.
You're stam chayiv to wear tefillin by night.
Oh, very good. We paskin pretty much. It's not so clear. It's a big sugya, but Maisa we paskin. Laila is a zman of tefillin. You're allowed to wear tefillin at night. The reason why we don't, nowadays we never do, I'm saying back then they used to, is because you might be yafiach. So because of that, we don't, even back then they didn't wear at night. It's hard to have a gufnaki even at night. It is a zman of tefillin. So there's a big question when you have to take it off. Some say if you're still wearing it and it's starting to get darker, you don't have to remove it that second.
So let's say that day you were sick, I don't know, what are the cases you didn't put on tefillin that day?
Yeah.
Could you use it at night?
Pashas, we can't do it, but back then, no, you should. They talk about it. It's like after Shkia still do it, but once it's night, don't initially put on tefillin because with Xera that you might be a fiach. So at night you never initially put on tefillin. This guy is going about his day. It's getting a little dark. Wants to take a nap. You have to remove your tefillin. But really, once it starts getting really into the night, you should remove your tefillin anyways. So we'll just say this guy. It's like just getting dark. Just getting dark.
And this guy's taking a nap at night?
He's taking a quick nap, yeah.
Not sleeping.
Yeah, doesn't want to take a long sleep. He wants to take a long sleep for sure, so remove his tefillin. Taking a short nap, but it's night. So now you're running into maybe falling into deep sleep and a tashmish issue. Rabbi Yossi, I remember Rabbi Yossi says, this is Rabbi Yossi ben Chalafta. That's the one that's usually mentioned, Rabbi Yossi. He says, Hayalodim. Now, Yalodim here does not mean children, it means bachram. Adult males, but young males. Yalodim, L'oilam cholzen. If you're a healthy, young adult, You should always remove your tefillin. Ve'ena manicha, never leave them on if you're taking a short nap even. Why? Mipnei sheregilim betuma. Because the literally means you're frequent with tuma, you're frequent to have carry, to be mitzi zera. Because these guys, they're younger, and their thoughts are usually go towards these things, especially when they like taking a nap. Therefore, because they might have a carry, therefore they have to remove their tefillin regardless, even for a light nap. That's what it seems like right now, what we're basically saying. End quote of the Brisa. So we have the Tanakama says, Rabbi Nassan says, during the day, up to you. At night, you must remove. And we have Rabbi Yossi that says, Yolodim, Rabbi Yossi is not necessarily arguing. It's not so clear. He's just pointing out, could be the Tanakama Rabbi Nassan doesn't talk about Yolodim, he feels everyone's the same. But Rabbi Yossi is pointing out, they're Yolodim, young, healthy adults, you should remove your tefillin. You're not supposed to leave them on. Says, even during the day. Says the Gemara, question, not a kasha, but a shaila. Gemara is addressing something. Lema kasava Rabbi Yossi, does Rabbi Yossi hold Balkari Asr laniach tefillin? That a Balkari is Asr to wear tefillin? Does he really hold this? What's so bad about a Balkari wearing tefillin? Like what's the major issue? Now, it's not so clear what this means because Rabbi Yossi was scared he might actually have a carry while his tefillin are on. So that's a much bigger chash. But the Gemara seems to hold from Rabbi Yossi that even after you finish your carry, you're not supposed to be wearing tefillin, someone who's a Baal carry. Two things. There's something having a carry, the mission, while you have your tefillin on, which is pretty bad. Then there's the post, you're a Baal carry right now, someone who had a carry, what's the story with wearing tefillin? So the Gemara is assuming if Rabbi Yossi is like nervous about having a carry, he probably also holds that a Baal carry can't wear tefillin. So somebody that carried the night before, he shouldn't wear his tefillin until he goes to the mikvah. Is that what you hold Rabbi Yossi? Like you can't even put on tefillin after you had a carry? So you hear the question? Again, Rabbi Yossi really meant to say he was really talking about, we're scared they're going to have a carry b'shas the ring the tefillin. But it's only a chash. So the Gemara is saying you're so nervous about it, sounds like everything about carry you're nervous of, you're anti. So even someone that already was a carry, he's not allowed to wear tefillin. Is that something you hold? Amar Abaya says, no. Rabbi Yossi was talking about a very specific case. Biyaladim, we're talking about young, healthy adults. Unishaysehen iman, and their wives are with them. Askinan, that's what we're dealing with. We're talking about a young, healthy guy comes into his home during the day for a quick nap, but his wife is there. Shema yevoyu lidei hergol dover. They might come. Hergol dover literally means doing things regular for them, and things regular for them is being like tashmish, relations.
Tashmish and carry is not the same thing that they're saying, right?
It's much worse, tashmish. Basically, Rabbi Yossi is saying, I'm not so nervous about that. You thought I was talking about carry? That's not what I'm nervous about. What I'm nervous about, these guys are so the type to do tashmish with their tefillin on, potentially. They're going to forget about it. So take off your tefillin right away when you get home. Yeah. 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 So Rabbi Yossi, the Gemara thought initially like he was bothered by that. The Gemara is falling off from that. Rabbi Yossi is not so nervous about being a Baal carry. Rabbi Yossi is more nervous about a problem of tashmish with your tefillin on. Why?
No, while you're wearing it on.
Yeah, while you're wearing it on, because that's a major bizayon. That is a serious bizayon to have such kalas reish with tefillin on. So Yeladim, when they go into their house for a quick nap, you have to make sure that you remove your tefillin. So just a chazer the Bryce of what we have now. Reb Nassim says, during the day, sounds like he's not machalik. He doesn't differentiate between who it is. During the day, want to take a quick nap for a minute, you can keep your tefillin on, you can take them off, up to you. At night, whoa, night not. At night, you might fall into deep sleep, you might have tashmish, night is different. The Rabbi Yossi says, Lamaskana, Rabbi Yossi says, I agree with you about one case I don't. Yeladim and their wives are home, they might end up doing tashmish. Again, they wear the tefillin all the time. We're like, what? How's it even shy such a thing? The answer is, they're always wearing the tefillin, so it wasn't on their minds as much. And they're Yeladim, so this could happen. That's why you must remove your tefillin. Another brisa about this. Tan Rabbanan. The Rabbanan taught in the brisa. Shachach v'shimesh mitasei b'tefillin. A guy forgot, and he did tashmish. He used his bed, which is a nice way of saying tashmish, relations. He had relations b'tefillin with his tefillin. It's a pella. The guy was wearing his tefillin. What's the halacha? Einay eiches loy b'ritzua v'loy b'ktzitza. When you're taking them off, don't even touch the straps and don't touch the ktsitzas, the actual bayis. Don't touch it. Ad sheyitol yadav, until you wash his hands. V'yitlein, and then you should take them off. Why? Mipnei. Why? Because shahayadayim askan yasein. Your hands are very busy. It's very possible you touch a place that's dirty, either a place on the body that's dirty, or apart from the tashmish that's dirty, and therefore you should not touch anything until you do the netilas yadayim, and then remove your tefillin. What? It's talking about more about dirtiness, but a lot of times the dirtiness is tumah and dirtiness, so it's a little bit of both. You have and you shouldn't be touching your tefillin with this thing. So you have to do netilas yadayim afterwards, and after every tashmish is doing netilas yadayim, and then taking your tefillin off. So we're just coming out with over here is a drop more about napping. Halacha l'maisa, not mamish halacha l'maisa, just from the Gemara halacha l'maisa type. I don't want to say halacha l'maisa because it gets very detailed, but you have to be very careful about wearing tefillin and sleeping. Be very careful. We're seeing a lot of halachas. Even in that by day, super, super short, less than a minute, and some people say you have to be in an uncomfortable position. But if not for that, you have to be very, very, very careful. Okay? Extremely careful. We learned a lot about kalas roish and being very careful with your tefillin on. You can see over here, guy's going in for a nap, he might come to do tashmish. We're very concerned the guy has the right, head, his right hashkafas while he's wearing his tefillin, not thinking about other things. We saw about carry a little bit, so just to understand the chashivas of tefillin. But that sort of is a wrap back on the last Mishnah of Sukkah, which we just learned. We got into tefillin, but just the chaz of the Mishnah, now that we saw the whole complete Gemara on Chafei Amid Aleph, just we'll appreciate the Gemara a little bit, the Mishnah a little bit better. The Mishnah says, the Chafei Amid Aleph, Shluchei mitzvah, people that go to do a mitzvah, Petur min sukkah. If you're on your way to do a mitzvah, you're patur from sukkah. And what we've learned throughout all the Gemaras was people that are on their way to do a mitzvah, people who are actually doing the mitzvah, people who are actually torrid and thinking about doing the mitzvah, people that are even doing business that has to do with mitzvahs. So many places where this concept of shluchei mitzvah are patur from sukkah based on the well-known thing of istik b'mitzvah patur min mitzvah. We also learned cholim mishamshem patur min sukkah. Sick people and their caretakers are patur from sukkah. And that was the whole concept that we have to live in the sukkah like we live in our home. Whatever we do at home, we'll do in the sukkah. And a sick person would never live in a sukkah if that was his home. He would never do such a thing. So that's not Teshvu came to Duru. He would leave his home if that was his home. So therefore, you can leave the sukkah. It's not a proper home. And the people that take care of him can leave. We saw ideas of being patur from sukkah that's uncomfortable, bugs and the like, or smells. There's a concept of being a patur. And the last thing we learned was, Eichlin v'sheis and arei chutz sukkah, you're allowed to eat and drink in a snacking way outside the sukkah. Because again, you would snack outside your home, so you could snack outside your sukkah, but sleep is different. You're not allowed to sleep outside the sukkah. Thank you very much.
One question.
Yes.
According to buying, how we learned in what is Yossi adding to it?
He's adding in that
Yoladim.
Yoladim and their wives are home.